And hello everybody, and welcome to my group/individual broadcast. Today I'm going to go through the group problems and show you what I did. So this is the lesson 2, applying genetic problems. For number 1, it asks a child with blood types O, Rh negative, and M is born to a woman who has blood types O, Rh, and Mn, and a man who has blood types A, Rh positive, and M. Determine a possible genotype for each parent for the child. For this one, all I did really was the forked method. I did it my personal, that was for B. For B, I did the forked method. I did it my personal style where I don't draw forked lines, but I make boxes of all the possibilities and the fractions and multiply the possibilities together for the exact one that I want. That's what I did for B and for C. For A, this one just says determine a possible genotype for each parent and for the child. That's pretty much what I did. I didn't think there was a whole lot more to it. For D, it says a man with blood types B, Rh positive, and N says he cannot be the father of a child with blood types O, Rh negative, and Mn. The mother of the child has blood types A, Rh, and Mn. Is this man correct? No, he's not. It's not impossible, but that also kind of depends on his and his wife's genotypes. Now, what I said is depending on the exact genotype of the father and the mother, he could be right or wrong. It is a possible outcome given the phenotypes of the father and the mother. Father's genotype could be IB and I, RR, and NN, and the mother's genotype could be IA, I, capital R, little r, and MN. This would allow for a child to be born with a genotype of II, RR, and MN, which would exhibit the phenotypes blood type O, Rh negative, and MN. Now, if the dad was homozygous dominant IB, then it would be impossible for his child to have an O. And if he was homozygous dominant for RR, it would also be possible for him to have a child that has an Rh negative. So it depends on those two. You know, if he's homozygous dominant, then he's correct. If he's heterozygous, he is incorrect. So that's that situation. Number 2 is pretty cool. It talks about the comb shape in chickens. And I copied and pasted this from the instruction in the notes in the lesson. And so a capital R, capital P, doesn't matter what the other two are. It's a walnut comb. Could be heterozygous or homozygous there. Capital R and lowercase p is a rose comb. And the P in the single comb you can see there. Now it says, what are the genotypes of parents that produce the following progeny phenotype ratios? So these are the ratios of the kids. What are the parents? And on this one, I will have this posted if you want to look on the group discussion on my post for this thing. I haven't put it on there yet, but I'm going to post an image of what I've done. Pretty much, I did a little 4 square with this one. In the top left, I've got R, like big R, little r, big P, little p. And I filled out the boxes according to these things. So I made the boxes. I put this in one box, this in another, that in another, and that in another. And I traced it and just tried to do a backwards Punnett square. And that's really how I did these. For the first one, I came up that the mom has to be a R, little r, big P, little p, which is a P comb. And the dad has to be the rose comb with that genotype. And that's really how I did it for the other 3. They were all pretty similar. I liked B because if you have 3 rows of one single, both parents need to be that genotype with big R, little p, little p. For the D was the most tricky one because it was mom could be this, and then dad could be all of these different combinations. Little r's, big R, little r, big r's, or big P, little p, big P, little p, big P, little p. You know, it didn't terribly matter too much what dad was as long as mom was this, you know, certain specific thing. For 3 was kind of interesting. It scared me a little bit at first. But what helped me the most was these 3 things right here, where it says that you cross 2 things and you only get 1. or sorry, you cross two parents with the same genotype and you get one genotype. So if these two, it makes sense. If total chestnut crossed with total chestnut, you get a total chestnut. That means these two are homozygous. Whether one's dominant or one's not, we'll find that out later. But crossing a chestnut with a cremello gives you 23 palomino. That helped me to come up with the genotype suggested for these horses. I suggested that the chestnut is a dominant homozygous double capital B. That would make sense. As long as the cremello is a homozygous lowercase b. So if you cross a chestnut capital B with a cremello lowercase b, that would make sense that all of them would be a heterozygous palomino. So those helped me to understand that a little bit more. And that is codominance, where they both assist. You know, it's almost like the blood types, but it's like the pink flowers instead. So I guess that's probably more of an incomplete dominance. I need to change that. Number 4 was really just terms from the reading: glycosyltransferase and acetylgalactosamine, overdominance, and pretty much all these answers are just from the textbook. And this question really is just maternal inheritance. It really only matters what the mom has. So if there's 40% of the moms that are sinistral and 60% dextral, then that's what the kids will exhibit. The same thing with this one. You just needed to go back to the reading and read that those were in the maternal inheritance section and understand that it's really, dads help you live, but in the maternal inheritance on those traits, the moms really make those happen. The last one is pretty interesting. So you've got kind of this condescending order of dominance with these alleles. Black is greater than sepia, greater than cream, and greater than white. So what are the genotypes and phenotypes of the parents that produce the following offspring in a cross? So if they're half black and half sepia, parents that could be included could be mom, which would be a sepia, a double C, and dad black, or a B and S. That would produce 50 and 50. Or, you could have all these other combinations, but any of those would work. I actually really liked C because it was like, if you want 50% to be black, 25% of this, and 25% to be that, there's only one combination of mom and dad that would really work with that, as far as I understood it. I could be wrong, but that made sense to me. And then this last one I loved even more, where it's like 75% of them got to be black, and then 25% of them got to be white. Doing a Punnett square, you need 3 of the 4 to be black, so you've got to have a black on the top 2. On the top and on the left. So that means at the ends you got to have a W. So that was the only thing, is both parents are going to be BW. That's pretty much how I did things. A lot of help came from doing a Punnett square and either going backwards on it or doing a Punnett square in order to help for the fork tail method. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. And we'll see you next week.